Welcome to Inwards Outwards, an open mic event at Deb Kaufman's Art Space, featuring storytellers, poets, musicians, and performers from Berkshire County.
Inwards, outwards. Inwards, out.
Okay, I think that's it. All right, ready, set, on deck is Kristen. Up now, Eric and Francine.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Love you all.
Love you.
We just wanted to do this John Prine song because John just passed and we love him. And
We love him.
we know you all do. And feel free to sing along. I know a guy that's got a lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella, but he's kind of confused. He's got muscles in his head, ain't never been used. Thinks he owns half of this town. Starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose. Beats his old lady with a rubber hose. He takes her out to dinner, and he buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. I was sitting in the bathtub, counting my toes when the radiator broke. The water all froze. I got stuck in the ice without my clothes, naked as the eyes of a clown. I was crying ice cubes, hoping I'd grow when the sun came through the window. Water on the road. I stood up and laughed. I thought it was a joke. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. Yahoo, baby!
Thanks,
Love
everybody.
y'all.
Love you.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome. Okay, up next, or on deck is Sonia. And up now is Kristen. Yay!
Hi, can you guys hear me? Can you
Yes.
guys hear me? Okay, cool. I just have two short little things to say, and if I go over 3 minutes, just tell me, Deb. I had a prop, and I don't know where it is. So my baby just turned 6 months. Oh, where's the prop? Well, I was gonna show you, oh, here it is. So the theme is pertinent. When he was, I mean, he's tiny, but he was tinier 3 months ago. And we have him in this little, like recliner seat. And ever since he was super, super small, we had this, which is not a baby toy. We've just sort of had it around our house. It's almost rusty and it's just got like a little bell. And you can see it's like hearts and stars are my favorite things to doodle. And so this was hanging above him. And when he was little, he would look at it and stare and stare and stare intently. And just about a month ago, he got to the point where he could swat it. And then finally, the ultimate day when he was able to like tear it down and shove it in his mouth, which is like maybe scary because it's probably rusty, but we figure it's good for his gut biomes or whatever. So that was the first thing I thought of. This is just that the amazing way that we get to watch him day to day do these things and sometimes feel frustrated with like the limitations of his tiny body. He'll grab things and shove them in his mouth and then throw them and because they're not doing what he wants them to. So that's the one heart story. And the other one is that I have a friend who I've known for almost 30 years, like since junior high. And she's having a baby at the end of the month. And she doesn't have a lot of other friends who've done this. And so she and I have been in contact. She lives in Brooklyn, but has moved to an upstate family home during this time. And so I spent a month collecting things to share with her. And I sent her a huge box, one of those like stupid ubiquitous Amazon boxes that like was sent to me. And then we see them everywhere. And so before I shipped it out, I packed it up and I grabbed a Sharpie and I drew hearts all over the outside of the box. And when she got it, she was thrilled with all the things. And the hearts on the outside were her favorite part. And I just was appreciating this person who I've known since I was like 12. And the fact that doodling hearts is kind of something you might do when you're 12, and that it never gets old, and that just the sentiment of like adding that little detail can sometimes make all the difference, you know? So that's it. I just, last month I got to watch. It's so nice to just speak, even if I can't hear anyone. I can see some of your beautiful faces. And I'm gonna probably shut the camera off and put the baby to bed, but I'll be listening. So love to you all. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, honey. Great to see you. On deck is Kit Patton. Up next is Sonia Hilser. Sonia, I'll let you unmute yourself.
Mute. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Great. You know, I watched the video from the last time. It was just amazing. I mean, I just feel like you do such a service for us and you give us so much, and especially for someone like me who's so far away. So thank you. This is a kind of dispatch from New York City, okay? Perhaps it comes from being born the child of Grinas, as we Jewish refugees were once called. I, a recent graduate from kindergarten, was the translator with the Americans. But I knew I was deficient. A windstorm of words flew by me. Idioms were a mystery. $20? The confusion of how much things cost, and the dreaded communication with my mother, who thought everything was too much money. The dirty looks we received from shopkeepers. As we walked out empty-handed, I stared down at my hand-sewn clothes. Skip many decades. Although I lived the kind of life my parents could scarcely imagine, I still carry the deep-set feeling of wanting. Empty pockets, empty life. There must be a term listed in the DSM, but FOMO will do, fear of missing out. Skip to the present. We are all self-isolating. We struggle to get our groceries if we're fortunate enough to be able to afford them. In New York City these days, the conspicuous display of wealth is gone. We all wear our masks, except for mostly young men who promenade peacock-like, while we walk stealthily, avoiding each other's eyes. Not a lot of selfies, fewer phones. There's a kind of democratization on my street. We're equally afraid, whether we say so or not. Yet there's a strange calm. I once spent 3 months in a rehab facility. A woman in her 90s stopped me with her bony fingers. "You look so angry," she said. I spouted my woeful surgical tale. She looked sharply at me. "This is your new life. Make it count, or at least don't despise the ground you walk on." If I'm honest, I feel more peaceful than I ever have. You don't have to keep up the mad pursuit, as Keats called it. Vanity is obsolete. All our gray hairs sprout. We don't need to tweeze eyebrows or chin hairs for that matter. Who needs deodorant? Why wear a bra? And there's the COVID-15, as a friend calls the extra poundage from recreational eating and lack of exercise. And no one asks, what are you doing this weekend? For a writer, it's also not the worst thing to happen. I keep thinking of the German Yiddish word Sitzfleisch. We are forced to sit on our tuchus more than ever before. A perfect opportunity to work on that novel, read a really long book. That's why I have FOMO NOMO. Right now, no one I know is having a better time. There are, of course, billionaires isolated in New Zealand pods. My friend Val couldn't return from Costa Rica, poor thing. Delta in Kenya has giraffes roam outside her porch. I've seen photographs on Facebook. And is there any greater generator of FOMO besides Instagram? Like many, I await the daily catharsis. At 7 p.m., not a minute earlier, the city explodes in a riot of car horns, bugles, shouts, applause for our
We lost you, Sonia. Sonia. Can anybody else hear her? We lost you, hon. I'm sorry.
second. There, is that better?
There
Can you
are.
now?
Yeah.
Can My signal suddenly, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just finish off our angels, the health workers, FedEx, postal employees, guys on bikes delivering out takeout. I have my frying pan, metal spoon, and hang outside my window. Across the street, I see a couple nightly in their window. They both clap their hands. When it's over, we always wave to each other. Will we recognize each other on the street one day? Will we be on the street one day soon? Thank you. Sorry
Thank
for
you, Sonia. Thank you. On deck is Jim Lawrence. Up now is Kit Patton. Kit, you have to unmute yourself.
Good?
Yep.
We good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, I have a couple of short stories. Graphic stories. It's new for me, but you can use graphics on Zoom in a way you can't in front of 50 people, real people. Here we go. Joe had many questions. Fortunately, Joe lived in the time of the oracles. Every American had an oracle. Oracles were a head with a single foot attached. And here's an oracle. They lived on people's desks and sometimes in their pockets. They were said to dispense any information you needed. All you had to do was press the correct toes on the oracle's foot, and the oracle would tell you what you wanted to know. Joe's first question was, may I have a map of the park where I am supposed to meet my friend tomorrow? He pressed the oracle's toes. The oracle responded, would you like to use Adobe Acrobat? Joe tried to imagine what an Adobe Acrobat would look like. His uncle had once had a diesel rabbit, so he thought he might be able to manage it, but the oracle still wouldn't give him a map. Joe had another more important question. How can I meet with my friends whom I never see in person? The oracle had an answer. So Joe pressed the special toes needed to see his friends. The oracle said, "Please wait. The host will let you into the meeting soon." Joe stared at the oracle for over 20 minutes, but the host never let him into the meeting. Joe was beginning to lose a sense of what the word soon meant. What Joe did not know was that all over America, millions upon millions of oracles were telling their owners, "Please wait. The host will let you into the meeting soon." Joe might have felt less lonely had he known this. Finally, Joe moved on to his most important question. Why does my friend not seem to like me anymore? The oracle stared at him blankly. You see, the oracle could not answer him because the oracle was only a head and a foot. The oracle had no heart. That's the first story. This is the second story here. This is short, briefer. Oh, you won't be able to read it. Oh, it says, The Hunt for Oxytocin, Modern Techniques. This is the first technique. This is the second technique. And this is the third technique. It says, I miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kit. I'm guessing everybody knows about speaker view and gallery view, so you can see bigger pictures. If you don't, you can chat with me. Okay, Jim, no, let's see. Steffi Fletcher is on deck, and Jim Lawrence is up now. Jim, I'll let you unmute.
I'm putting on my poetry glasses. I've got a couple of poems to read tonight. First one is called This Old Chair. Nicked and thick, squarish arms, dusky as old tobacco, Giza-like, massive. The sunken seat of weathered green brocade beckons my Lincoln-esque repose. I yield, sink into its familiar palm, drift back and back. Here those baby girls were cradled in their first home sleeps. Here I scribbled notes that led to works, that bought the milk and graham crackers, Tonka toys and Mario Brothers, prom dresses, first cars. Here they warmed my lap, threw diapers wet it too, rode the old gray mare. Here the wind was jackhammered out of me by unannounced leaps, partnered by ear-piercing squeals. On mine screen now those babies play, loved forever, while I slide into the yin and yang of longing and joy, the gift of this deep, grandfatherly hand of memory. And the second one is called Pas de Deux. The fog from chill night wages feudal war with the morning sun. The rooster cries insistently, though well past dawn. Dogs bark and yap. The airwaves of cars rush by on the road beyond this guest house. So quick they pass, leaves from the book of my life. The oldest daughter is home now from school, though not to my home. So as ever, at night I reach out by phone, my nightly vigilance against the fear, even now, of faulty fatherhood. A tractor lumbers in slow rankle by. The old hurt and anger, the healing heart go by slow too, wrestling with this love of day. Life gives and takes, as do we all in mirrored slumber, perfect in our cycles, as the sad fog and the living sun, the infant and the grown woman who are forever one and the same, the sprouted seed of joys and struggles, dancing a perfect pas de deux, the reward for a stubborn, open heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. On deck is Susan Salovey. Up now is Steffi Fletcher. Steffi, I'll let you unmute.
I think I did, right?
Okay, you did.
Yes. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. A word of explanation first. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me, Ted?
Yes, we can hear you. I can't
Oh,
see
good.
you, but yeah, here you are.
Okay. Uh, this poem is about my grandmother who lived in East Prussia, Germany. And in East Prussia, the word for father was Fetusch, der Fetusch, the Fetusch, just so you understand. Okay, my grandmother. You want to know about my grandmother? She was a woman of no talents and no particular beauty, except for her eyes, blue as forget-me-nots. Her husband loved her passionately. You want to know about my grandmother? She married a man with sparkling eyes and a quick wit. When he walked down the streets of his small town, the men he met doffed their hats in respect. Hers was an arranged marriage. Her 3 children, handsome like their father, smiled at each other when they saw the Fetusch carry their mother off to the bedroom. You want to know more about my grandmother? She lived in a stone house on the old town square, opposite the old town hall, where the old town clock pealed out the ears every hour. The house was happy with the laughter of young people who years later still remembered that woman of no particular talents who made them all welcome. What else can I say about my grandmother? Her husband died. Times changed, as they so oddly but always do. Red flags with black swastikas hung from the old town hall. Did I tell you that she was Jewish? It had not mattered before, but now. Of course, and did I tell you that the town was on the beautiful Weser Lake? Of course, my grandmother could not swim. She was not athletic like her children who had scattered. So my grandmother, of no particular talents, went into the lake and swam into the morning of her memory. That's all I can tell you about my grandmother.
Thank you, Steffi. On deck is Jillian. Up now is Susan Solovey.
Thank you. I'm already feeling my heart opening.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Touching my heart. Several years ago, I worked with a woman, a client, who is a wonderful, warm, fun-loving, generous, friendly, and caring woman. But when she spoke about her sister, who she had a falling out with, her whole countenance changed. She was full of anger and hurt, and something shut down inside of her. I asked her if she wanted to repair that relationship, and she said, "Never." I said, "Okay, never." But I had an instinct, because I knew that she used to be very close to her. I said, "How does your heart feel right now? How does your heart feel about your sister?" And after a quiet moment, she said, "It's a closed door. And not only is it closed, it's shut, it's locked, it's a vault. It's a double steel locked vault door. And it has a big lock on it." I said, "Okay, well, we're not going to dynamite that open, but would you take 30 seconds to just think about something?" And she said, "Okay." I said, "Just go back in time for a moment and think of something you like about your sister. Something you admired, sometime you were close, an attribute of hers." And she began to remember those. And you could almost hear that door going like this. The door was slightly opening with each of those thoughts. And so it began. And I remember how remarkable it was. It took about, I think, 2 months. They repaired their relationship. And since then, I've helped people who, when they were asked that same question, found out their heart was shut down, enclosed in brick, covered in boulders, encased in ice. In one case, I worked with someone, she said, I have a row of soldiers around my heart. And yet, it's only a few moments away from something changing. And so, I thought I would bring to all of us tonight the little something, which is 60 seconds. 60 seconds of a kinder or more appreciative thought can change the entire way your heart feels, the way your day feels, the way you feel. And so I'm going to invite you to do something which later on I found out is something called HeartMath, which some of you probably know. And it takes your whole body into a healthier state. And so I'm pretty sure we all would like a little more oxytocin, serotonin, all of the healing and immune healthy chemistry will rise in your body. You take the next 60 seconds, and that means everyone in my house too. I welcome you. And you can do this with your eyes open or closed. But if you want to tune into your own heart, I invite you right now to close your eyes and take 3 slow, easy breaths into your own heart and see how it's feeling. See if the door is open or closed, whether you have got a gate there. And as you bring the following idea to your heart, think of a person or a pet who you appreciate. Someone for whom you can think with gratitude, love, or appreciation. And just focus on that feeling, that memory. See that person in your mind's eye. And breathe that right into your heart. And when you feel that appreciation, feel that love, let it fill you. Understanding that, feeling that makes you feel better as well as everybody around you. And bringing that to a place like iWell is a pleasure for me, because when I look out at the people who speak their hearts and tell their stories, my heart is always open.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. On deck, Kate, Robert, and Justin. And up now is Jillian.
Hi, everybody. Hello
Hi.
from South Carolina. It's very weird here. This is about how I've been sheltering. It's a little unusual. It's called Heart Pillow. The 2 weeks I spent by my father's side helping my mother die were the most heartbreaking of my life. Mom said she was ready to go, but some part of her was hanging on by her fingernails. She had no fear of the afterlife. Our family has a penchant for all things woo, and we are confident that what comes after is worth looking forward to rather than fearing. Nevertheless, she had said she couldn't imagine what it would feel like to take her last breath. And in her last 24 hours, there were moments when her eyes became wide and unable to make herself understood because of the creeping paralysis of her face and tongue, thanks to the brain tumors. She gasped for air and put her hands near her throat to show she was choking on the mucus that increasingly impinged on her breathing, what poets and physicians alike refer to as the death rattle. I held her hand and looked her in the eye, hoping to calm her. I often say Mom was like a cat. All those lives, She was first diagnosed with breast cancer, the start of it all, way back in 1996, and had achieved an almost 20-year remission using all natural therapies. It returned in 2015, but it wasn't until 2017 when we learned that it was in her bones that I summoned my kids for a last Thanksgiving with Granny. Turned out she had another 2.5 years left in her. She'd had a heart attack and multiple bypass surgery back in 2006, too. At the hospital, they gave her a pillow in the shape of a heart and instructed her to clutch it to her chest when coughing to protect her incision. There's a photo on the kitchen corkboard of her sitting in her easy chair, her family surrounding her as she clutches that pillow, smiling. My mom was petite, some would say tiny, but she was a big, bright light in the world. She was a gifted, operatically trained coloratura soprano, and many referred to her as the little lady with the big voice. She had sung for Eleanor Roosevelt at 10, done a stint on Broadway in her 20s, and for decades she played the Borscht Belt hotels, sharing the stage with greats like Henny Youngman and Rodney Dangerfield. I'm sleeping in Mom's beautiful 4-poster bed. The house is so quiet. I miss hearing her sing in the bathroom, her voice reverberating on the tiles as she did her makeup and affixed the little hairpiece to the top of her head. Dad and I muddle through each day, clearing out years of accumulation, taking sun breaks on the back deck. It's a pandemic, so there was no Shiva, no friends bringing casseroles and cheer. I cooked Dad dinner, and he kvels. Mom liked my cooking too, but she couldn't swallow in those last 2 weeks and only got down a few spoonfuls of my chicken soup. In her heyday, Mom recorded an album of Yiddish songs, The Jewish Heart. A dear old friend who was like a baby brother to her uploaded it to iTunes and Spotify. His heart was broken when he learned Mom was dying. In those last days, he composed for her a new arrangement of the Yiddish lullaby, Rozen Kesmet Monlin, or Raisins and Almonds. We played it for her about a week before she died. When it was done, she called it exquisite and wept when I read his dedication. I've been packing away Mom's clothes, and as I stood in her closet recently, I saw it up there on the top shelf, the heart pillow. Goodbye, Mom.
Thank you, Jillian. Let's see, on deck is Susie Kaufman. Up now, Robert, Kate, and Justin.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, we're fortunate to live here with Justin, so we get to all sing and play together. And I'm the lucky one. And it's so nice to see everybody and hear everybody's beautiful voices.
May have a big dog crash our video at some point, just so you know.
So this is a song we're going to play that that I've been writing over the last few weeks during this whole experience that we're all having. And the song's just been coming in little pieces. And today I kind of got a big download of it, and I got it enough together to share, although it's still a work in progress. But this is called Until We Breathe Again.
Breathing through the branches, in the forest in my chest. I thought I caught the beating of 1,000 subtle wings. They're singing in the grieving for all the life we've lost. When did you stop believing? Where did you lose your way? Why does it hurt so much to shut your eyes and pray? Oh, the path is overgrown, and the wonder that we've known has gone away. whistle in the distance, a screech on heavy wheels. It goes where we can go and knows what we don't know, stuck inside our homes. Oh, we know how it feels to be going nowhere while all the world slips past, and all the sweat and straining gets us nowhere fast. Oh, the path is overgrown, and the wonder that we've known is here inside. Though it's still inside of you, shadows fall upon the frozen freeway, children standing up against the wall. All is getting dark upon the roadway as the sun sets on us all, choking on the dreams we stopped believing, huddled in the prayer light of our screens, each of us alone in silence, screaming with our demons and our dreams, until we breathe again, until we breathe again, until we breathe.
Thank you, guys. That was beautiful. Thank you. On deck is Signe Schaefer. Now is Susie Kaufman.
Hello.
Jeannie, can you mute yourself, honey? I don't know why you're unmuted.
Okay. Okay. I feel like the luckiest person in the world to be here with all of you. Bless you. It's wonderful. This is called Chambers. Figure out how to do this. The heart is divided into 4 chambers, like a 2-up, 2-down house. I love that word, chambers. It brings to mind judges in black robes and powdered wigs. It conjures up string quartets playing Mozart in 18th century salons papered in silk. Again, wigs are involved. It makes me think of cameras that capture flickers of time, separating particular images into digital rooms distinct from all other possible rooms. The exhausted nurse at the end of her shift in the room for grief, her eyes permanently fixed on what she has seen. I want to cry. The heart has its reasons. Just now, I think of the chambers as actual rooms that I go in and out of during this dark time. There is a room for gratitude, and a room for yearning, a room for grief, and a room for outrage. I can't stay in the room for grief. In there, I start to choke like the patients that need oxygen. The air is heavy with the weight of despair. Today, I am stuck in the room where I can't find my grandchildren. I look for them under the bed, but they're far away in Minnesota. This is the room for yearning. Like all the rooms, it has to be cleaned. The windows have to be open to let the wind blow in. The memories have to be dusted off so they can be accessed more readily. All the ice cream at Izzy's in St. Paul, now closed for good, a casualty of the pandemic. There is no benefit in pretending this room doesn't exist. Its floors are strewn with their fishing tackle, their Pokemon cards. Its walls are covered in their holy scribble. Sometimes I go into the closets in the hall, one for judgment and one for self-doubt. I try not to spend too much time in there, but there are days when I need an old shirt that smells like me, and I have to go looking for it. I want to cry, so I scurry into the room for gratitude. Here I look on spring inching its way up from the gray, daffodils and forsythia out in front as always. I eat a plentiful dinner, prepared from food delivered by a frantic young person. He waves at me as he runs back down the steps. I don't know if he's running because he has many other deliveries to make or because he's afraid of me. I wave back, trying to convey my concern, my indebtedness in gestures, but he keeps running. I am outraged that this is the shape of his young life. In the room for outrage, I listen to the big men pontificating, and I know for them it's all just another bank heist, another occasion for larceny. It's a good thing there's more than one room in this heart, more than one bed to lie down in.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, sweetie. On deck is Frank Joya. Up next is Signe Schaefer. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, and Susie, especially there. This is just a short poem coming out of these days. My heart does not do social distance. I knew that right away. A friend heard me say so and said I should make a bumper sticker, but I was being serious. It's something I have not been practicing all my life. Separated as I have often been from friends and family, my heart goes round the world, finding the ones I love but cannot see, reaching even toward strangers' needs. I can honor the call for physical space, but trust my heart to stay unconfined by lockdown or distance, to keep on touching and embracing, gathering in sweet joys and hard sorrows, pulsing strongly as it widens and guides me ever onward.
Thank you, Signe. On deck is Roz Reese, and up next is Frank Joya.
Hi, everyone. It's really just wonderful to see you. I'm so happy to be here. So I have an excerpt from a story that I wrote about the old neighborhood. It's called The Clubhouse. We were slashing the little white ball back and forth across the painted green plywood table. I've always loved ping pong, the constant motion, offense, defense, you against the other. If you fuck up, you own it, your responsibility. I can be a team player, but I'm not a doubles kind of guy. Partnerships are for relationships. Me, I prefer to live by my own rules, make my own decisions. We were hanging out in the clubhouse on Wilson, 3 large rooms, a kitchen, a living room, and a game room. The coal stove that kept the place warm and the ping pong table were in the game room. We were weekend warriors, and mostly what we did was shoot up as the weekend stretched out to include Thursday and Wednesday and then Monday and Tuesday. We cupped junk from little Eddie, who hung out in the chicken joint down on Central, where they served sandwiches consisting of hot sauce sprinkled on fried chicken, bones and all, between 2 slices of Wonder Bread. Eddie was my girlfriend Vanessa's cousin. I still think about her sometimes, how we walked up and down Schaefer holding hands, knowing that people were looking at us, checking us out between the Venetian blinds. What's a nice Italian boy like that doing with that colored girl? First, they said something to my mom, but she didn't worry too much about it. She was mostly thinking about how to put food on the table, how to feed me and my brothers. Then the priest from 14 Holy Martyrs approached my Uncle Nick, said it wasn't such a good idea. White and black went against the natural order, wasn't what God intended. Uncle Nick agreed. Black and white was for spectator pumps, he said, invoking one of his tried and true fashion maxims. It was late. Vanessa had gone home when me and Tony decided to score a little something. We shared a chicken sandwich, finished our business with Eddie, and were walking back to the club when some young black teeny boppers called us over. Wanted to bum a smoke. As I cupped a match to give one of the kids a light, this young guy, barely a teen, we were probably 18, put a knife to my neck, asked for money, and besides, he wanted to know, what the fuck you white boys doing on my block? Now ain't that a kick in the ass, I thought. What goes around comes around. Hey, what gang are you guys with, I asked. We used to be Halsey Bops. Hung out in the park. Then I got lucky, said the magic words. You guys know little Eddie by any chance? Vanessa? Eddie turned out to be the kid's uncle. Left him with my pack of Luckies, and we were on our way. Me and Tony shot half a bag each, then played ping pong until the fire went out, and it started to get cold. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. On deck is Bubsy McDonough, and up now is Roz Reese. Roz, I can't see you, so you unmute yourself, okay?
Is that okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh,
And are you doing this with your mom?
no. I'm
Oh,
just,
Barbara's unmuted too. Okay.
yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hmm. Hmm. Hi, Mom.
Hi, dear. Hi, dear.
So I'm just, all right. This is a song, this is a melody that my mom wrote, I don't know how many years ago. And the lyrics are lyrics that came to me for the melody. So the piece is called How to Grow Love. And there are 2 verses. And at the very end, Deb, maybe I'll do a little signal that I'd like everybody to just sing the last phrase, and I'll sing it enough times so that you'll get it, and I'll just give you a little go signal, Deb, and then everyone can sing it if you're so inclined.
So Rosie, I'll unmute everybody when you give me the signal. Is that the idea?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. How to grow love. No, sorry, I have to start again. That's what it's called. Okay, here we go. Love is a word spoken and heard. It's an emotion for which we all yearn. Love has no bounds, wide as the sea. Feel love's immenseness, let your love grow free. Love is like a flower opening to the sun. Love is like a rainbow encircling everyone. Now I know of love. Listen and you'll hear. Ask, it is revealed. Know that it is clear. For all I know is love is why we're here. Now, okay, love is like a flower opening to the sun. Oh no, let's see, I'm sorry. How to grow love, water with care, shine self-acceptance and open to air. Love has no bounds, wide as the sea. Feel love's immenseness, let your love grow free. Love is like a flower opening to the sun. Love is like a rainbow encircling everyone. Now I know of love. Listen and you'll hear. Ask, it is revealed. Know that it is clear. Okay. Down. Because all I know is love is why we're here. All I know is love is why we're here. I know is love is why we're
Ross, where are you? Thank you, Rossi. I didn't realize Zoom is, you don't actually hear everybody at once, do you? You just hear over, you know. Thank you, that was beautiful. Thank you. And Barbara, thank you. Okay, let's see. Lost my list here. Toma, you're on deck, and Bubsy is up next.
No? Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I chose two readings from a writer named Emmett Fox, which you all may know of. He was a minister and a philosopher and a thinker and a metaphysician. And I always have been inspired by a couple of his writings, which speak to me of what the heart can do. And this is from a book of meditations called Around the Year with Emmett Fox. And if the word God disturbs you, please try to maybe substitute something else that more encompasses your concept of a higher power. The one reading is from July 3rd, Your Heart's Desire. An old adage says, God has a plan for every man, and he has one for you. Your real problem, the only problem you have, is to find your true calling in life. Everything else will fall into place. You will be happy, and upon happiness, health will follow. You will have all the supply that you require to meet your needs, and this means that you will have perfect freedom, for poverty and freedom cannot go together. God has not made you without a definite purpose in view. The universe is a universe, that is, it is a unified harmony, a divine scheme. It could not happen, therefore, that God could create a spiritual entity such as you are without having a special purpose in view, a special place for you. Whatever the place may be, there can be only one person who can fill it perfectly. But how is one to find his true place in life? Is there any means whereby you may discover what it really is that God wishes you to do? The answer is divinely simple. Already from time to time, God himself has whispered into your heart just that very wonderful thing, nothing less than what is called your heart's desire. The most secret wish that lies at the bottom of your heart, that is just the very thing that God is wishing you to do or to be for him. And the birth of that wish in your soul was the voice of God himself telling you to arise and come up higher because he had need of you. That's the one reading. And the other reading is on December 31st, your dedication. The way of love upon which you may step at any moment, at this moment if you like, requires no formal permit, has no entrance fee, and no conditions whatever. You need no expensive laboratory in which to train, because your own daily life and your ordinary daily surroundings are your laboratory. You need no reference library, no professional training, no external acts of any kind. All you need is to begin steadfastly to reject from your mentality everything that is contrary to the law of love. You must build up by faithful daily exercise the true love consciousness. Love will heal you. Love will comfort you. Love will guide you. Love will illumine you. Love will redeem you from sin, sickness, and death, and lead you into your promised land. Say to yourself, my mind is made up. I have counted the cost, and I am resolved to attain the goal by the path of love. Others may pursue knowledge or organize great enterprises for the benefit of humanity, or scale the austere heights of asceticism, but I have chosen the path of love. My own heart is to be my workshop, my laboratory, my great enterprise, and love is to be my contribution to humanity. Thanks for letting me share that.
Thank you, Bubsy. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
On deck is Jeannie Bassis. Up now is Toma.
Okay. Wow, this is very exciting to be a part here as a presenter. I've listened to so many of you so long. So in thinking about this subject, I felt that this is a time, perhaps more than any other, that calls us to learn how to love more. Common theme. I had to smile when Susan, you did your presentation, because this feels like part two. So in my experience, compassion shows up. Compassion is the great gateway that allows us to open our heart when we hold it more closed. And since I really love experiential exercises, I want to offer you a small experiential exercise that might allow you to feel your heart opening. This exercise has 5 little steps. It comes from our avatar training. And if you want to participate, I invite you to pick someone that causes you to feel bad in some way. Maybe just annoyed, maybe resentful, angry, mistreated, shamed, ignored, or abandoned. So just let someone come up in your awareness if you want to use this little exercise. And start to picture this person. And notice the sensation in and around your heart as you bring this person into your awareness. And here now come the 5 steps. They're very simple. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking some happiness in his or her life. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life. with attention on the person. Repeat to yourself, just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking to fulfill his or her needs. And finally, with attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is learning about life. Take a deep breath in and notice how your heart feels. Thank you so much for playing along.
Thank you, Toma. On deck is Anna, Brooke, Legs, Brooke. Up now is Jeannie Bassis.
Hi, can you all hear me, see me?
I can hear you, see you, Jeannie.
I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. You can sing this with me. I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. You singing? I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. My heart is left, my mind took flight. Took it down, now I feel alright. Maybe what they say is true. Time and space bring me closer to you. I put the cart before the horse. 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 Running through my thoughts. Not graceful, not clean. I put the cart before the horse. 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 Down to the water with dreams at night, reflecting some trees in her side, calling forth love's dream so real, divine encircling all I feel. I put the cart before the horse. 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 Last time, I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse. I put the cart before the horse.
Yay!
Thanks for listening and singing. I hope.
Thank you, honey. Thank you, Jeannie. Okay. Oh, let's see. On deck is Steve Kerner. Up now is Anna Legs Brook.
Hi, everybody. This is my first iWow. It's really lovely to see. I know some of you, I don't know all of you. My name is Anna Brook. I also am a burlesque performer by the name of Reverend Legs Malone. Some of you may have seen me at the barn. But I've actually written a book, and it comes out at the end of this month. And so I'm going to read a very short excerpt from it. It's called Stripped Down: How Burlesque Led Me Home. This is a very short passage. This is the PDF because I don't have the actual book yet. As an art form, burlesque can be titillating, inspiring, sensual, erotic, and deeply pleasurable. For some people, it can also be an uncomfortable and triggering experience. I have witnessed many responses and reactions to burlesque acts, from flushed, excited hollering to cold indifference. Leave it to an unclothed, sensual body expressing itself live and in person to bring up all sorts of feelings, responses, and reactions. As burlesque dancers, our bodies are both our canvas and our toolbox. Our art cannot be separated from our bodies. Some criticisms can get very tangled up between the art, the medium, and the artist, which are not one and the same for other art forms. When I started doing burlesque, it became my life. I remember being backstage, surrounded by the naked bodies of my fellow performers in various states of preparation for their act, and thinking about what a massive blessing it all was. Being welcomed into a world where people were seen because they chose to do so was immensely rewarding for me. I had never seen women own their bodies the way my new friends and colleagues did. These women were inhabiting their bodies with power and joy, while dancing and speaking truth to their art and no one else's. The performers were consciously saying yes to the part of them that felt deep joy in the act of creation and self-expression. I was consistently inspired and moved by what these women brought onto the stage. Backstage along with me were women who worked corporate day jobs, moms whose partners or friends were home watching the kids, and fellow artists stringing together gigs to make enough money so they could continue making their art. Among this amazing group of people, there was a solidarity and a kind of kinship I had never known before. We looked out for each other. We gave warm words of encouragement as well as honest feedback. An overall sense of tribe and community permeated my experience getting into burlesque. I found sisterhood, family, love, and a multiplicity of hilarious, warm, beloved relationships with wonderful, wacky people with whom I am beyond fortunate to share a deep soul connection. When I am on stage, I am in heaven. There is an intoxicating electricity at the moment when my choreographed moves elicit whistles and whoops. I get to play with a whole group of people whose sole job it is to watch me and my art for their enjoyment. I realize this might sound like a kind of hell for some, but for me, it was bliss. Burlesque was never a choice for me, but an assignment that came directly from the center of my heart. As I began to rehearse new acts, the only hurdle I faced was navigating and negotiating my own self-hate and criticism. The flood of joy that lit me up washed away any semblance of prior hesitation or resistance. I can't compare the feeling to anything else. It was as if a torrential flood of light was unleashed in me and spilled out in every direction. How on earth could I ever say no to that? That's all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. I know we all want to get on stage with you now. Yeah. Okay, Sharon Coleman is on deck and Steve Kerner is up next.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
40,000 neurons. Is the heart more than a biological organ? In science, if you can't prove it, then it's not real. Yet culture and folklore also count. And there are songs like, You Gotta Have Heart, Heart and Soul, and My Heart Will Go On. And expressions like warm-hearted, hard-hearted, heartache, and broken-hearted. Recently, I read that the heart has 40,000 neurons, which enable it to perform as a brain, second only to our actual brain. The article mentioned a transplant to an 8-year-old girl from a 10-year-old girl who had been murdered. The 8-year-old girl began having recurring nightmares about the man murdering her. Psychiatric help was sought, and eventually the psychiatrist and the mother notified the police. Using the dream's images, the police were able to find the murderer, and he was charged and convicted. So let me ask you, are you aware of your heart as more than just an organ? Do you know when it happened? Was it when you met your first love, or when you saw your infant after childbirth? For me, it came late in life. Actually, not until I was about 65. Probably because I had erected defenses. When I grew up, my feelings were not often welcome in our little household. When I got angry, my mother often said, "Be mad, stick mad, be your mother's wash rag." This may have been a translation from the language she was brought up speaking. I guess it meant something like, "You'll get dinner tonight, but your mother isn't very pleased with your complaining and moping." When I was 7, I proudly told my father I had learned to play chess. He set up the chessboard and proceeded to annihilate me. When he took my king and won, he said scornfully, "And I thought you knew how to play chess." I cried and he said, "Don't be a crybaby, you're just too sensitive." One night in 2012, after 9 years of struggling and suffering with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, my wife came to bed and said she was so tired of living, and couldn't I just make this go away? She had recently recovered from throat surgery to heal a paralyzed vocal cord that had caused her to lose her voice. The surgery helped, but it was horrendous. Now, unrelated, her face had broken out in red blotches, which oozed pus. She was whimpering in bed with her back against my chest. I wrapped my arms around her and soothed her with soft words. Soon, the rhythm of her breathing changed to a slower and quieter cadence, like listening to agitated waves on the shore changed to gentler ones. I remember vividly deciding to close my eyes and focus all my strength on sending healing energy from my heart to hers. And I felt an energy vibrating between us, saying I was helping her to survive. And that was when I stopped thinking of my heart as just a biological organ.
Thank you, Steve. Robin Ziemer, you're on deck, and Sharon Coleman, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. Hi. I heart this period of time we're in right now. But it's really only because of what's not here and what's missing that I heart this period. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but on Main Street in Great Barrington, there is no longer the roar of tractor trailers going through town. We can hear the wind in the trees almost any place we walk. There seem to be many less planes flying overhead, but we can really hear so many species of birds and their song. So I know that the wheels of commerce must start grinding again. We need progress and all this and, you know, the kind of life we're all used to. But I'm going to really miss a lot of what I've been hearting lately. And the poet Pablo Neruda says it best for me. So I want to read his poem called Keeping Quiet. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. And the man gathering salt would not look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it's about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Joanne Spies is on deck. Robin Ziemer is next. Is Robin Ziemer here?
I didn't see her.
Hi there.
Yep, I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you.
There.
I see you. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Everybody hear me?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
I don't know.
I couldn't print out the poem I'm going to read, so I'm going to have to put it on the screen, but I think you'll still see me. I think, yes, that's the way it works. The green light will be above. Okay. This poem I wrote recently with it was a April prompt that I received. And the title of the prompt was called Mysterious Animal, and I've chosen to use that as the title for the poem. Mysterious Animal. The corona animal, with 19 legs to mark the time, crept in unannounced, stealthily lurking in the hallways of humankind, crossing roadways of hope, fully ready to go deep into the jungles where souls are lost to the earth's air and are carried away upwards in great numbers. Those who can no longer breathe in what was once life. The animal's underbelly is raw. It is hungry, tired, restless, and dissatisfied, and does not choose over the wealthy or the poor. Because it has no gender and no controlled power, it spreads thickly south to countries where there is so little wealth that those who dwell there, already hungry, must so quickly give up any last hold on hope. We are all under its worldwide spell. The fear of separation has sunk to a new reality with social distancing. Yet, in our solitude and isolation, the Spirit of Truth speaks with the spiritual understanding forecast for centuries. Humankind uniting, heartfelt, together in common experience, breeds compassion and love. Let the healing of a tortured planet begin.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Welcome.
Eileen Marcus is on deck and Joanne Spees is up next.
Thank you, Deb. It does my heart good to see everyone. I am in Sarasota, Florida, and I've been lucky to be able to go to a little pond 5 minutes away. And I'm going to show you pictures because that inspired this song called Turtle Heart. And I wrote it right after John Prine passed away. He is a fellow Chicagoan, and I felt very sad at his passing. I'm going to show you these pictures when they come up. So all these turtles were coming to get me the day after I finished this song. Can you believe it? Grandma is gone, Dad is dead. Mom went early, she took to her bed in springtime. They live in the stars, they went beyond. I get in touch when I sit by the pond with the turtles. They bob their heads up and down, turn back in the water when they hear a sound. When they know it's me, they move to the ground and smile. Their turtle heads are lifted up, their eyes are open like a buttercup. They come from the stars, blinking their lights. They come from the stars, their eyes shine bright with heaven. Their turtle heart is wide and deep. It has a shell, so it can keep the memory of who they are, of who we are, who we are. Last night when sundown lit the trees, I sat by the pond in the evening breeze. The turtles crawled up on the ground. There they are. The way was steep with rocks and twigs, but something in my heart released the memories of who we are, of who we are. You gotta walk like a turtle and turn around. Look up to the heavens when you hear the sound of your heartbeat, of your heartbeat. Your heart is wide, your heart is deep. It has a shell, so it can keep the memory of who you are, who you are. We come from the stars, we're blinking our lights. We come from the stars, shining bright with heaven. We come from the stars, blinking our light, come from the stars, shining bright with heaven. It's who we are, who we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Maggie Mitchell is on deck. Eileen Marcus is up next.
Hello, everybody. Happy May. This is entitled Lost Earring because it always breaks my heart when I lose an earring. It just kills me. At the end of each day, I count the number of pens in my drawer, methodically line up each pair of earrings to make sure they have a mate, count the dollars in my wallet, backtracking over my day in my head to figure out, did I spend that money or did I lose it? Did $20 fall out of my pocketbook when I wasn't paying attention? There were years I acted as if I didn't care, randomly tossing things into my pocketbook as if I wasn't afraid of losing anything, nonchalant like it didn't matter. I didn't care, dumping whatever came across my path that day into my big, soft leather satchel. I would dig my hand in deep to find something. As I rummaged around, I would smile as I touched something I forgot I had. And yet, when I needed it, whatever it was, I couldn't find it. It would be gone, lost, only to be found months or days later under the car seat at the back of a drawer, tucked in a pocket I had forgotten. Too scared to lose anything, to risk anything, to shine bright, to put myself out there and stake a claim, to be bold enough to make a fool, brave enough to try. Everything must be lined up just right, like my writing, several pieces just sitting on my computer. I want them organized and stored in a neat filing system, like my earrings in the drawer, never worn for the fear of losing a favorite, sitting untouched in a velvet-lined drawer, sitting in the dark. So how is this about my heart? It's not, and yet it's all about my heart. You see, my heart also sits in a velvet-lined drawer, closed off to the world, protected, playing it safe because it's easier, it's comfortable. Even a lost earring can be matched with another. Why not my heart? Besides, who wants to be alone in the dark anyway?
Thank you, Eileen. On deck is Tom Norton. Up now is Maggie. Can't hear you, Mags. Okay.
Yay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
It's really nice to be here. I miss you all. And I hope soon I'll be able to get together and hug again. I did think about a couple songs, but I just wasn't really feeling it. And I wanted to offer a heart chakra meditation, just a quick little heart chakra, which is located in the center of the chest. And it's an expression of our love and compassion. When the heart center is blocked, there's a sense of isolation or separation from ourselves and others. So I thought this might be beneficial as we're all experiencing some form of self-isolation and separation from those we love. When the heart chakra is open and the energy is flowing freely, we feel love and connection to others and for ourselves. So if everyone can take a moment to get comfortable in their seat, straighten the spine as erect as possible, feet flat on the floor, hands on your thighs with the palms turned up in a receptive gesture. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And allow your heart and mind to open to giving and receiving the energy of love. And just become aware of your breathing, simply observing the sensation of each breath as it moves in and out of your body. The breath is our connection to the life force that keeps us all alive. And it also keeps us connected with each other. And you might notice if you can feel the heart and the breath moving together. If possible, bringing the sensation of breathing directly into your heart. And now begin to deepen your breathing. Take a long, slow breath in through the nose, filling the belly as you do this. And holding for a moment. And slowly, when you're ready, exhaling, emptying the belly, pressing back into the spine as you do this. And again, breathing in deeply. And as you exhale, releasing all the concerns from the day, the week, the month, the year. And now with each breath in, direct a flow of loving kindness to yourself. And perhaps bring your hand to touch your heart while you do this. Breathing in loving kindness and breathing out any stress or concerns. And one more time, breathing in loving kindness for yourself. And this time, breathing out kindness for others. Breathing in loving kindness for yourself. And breathing out loving kindness for others. And slowly, when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back into the room, and perhaps into the Zoom. And thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. Let's see. Ian is on deck and Tom Norton is up next.
Hi, my volume working?
Hey, yes it is.
Hey, good, thank you. I'm gonna play a song. This time has been good for doing a lot of practicing music, so I'm gonna do a Buddy Holly song that was brought to me by one of my favorites, Linda Ronstadt, who I've been listening a lot of lately. So. There you go, baby, here in my world. You left me here so I could sit and cry. Golly gee, what have you done to me? 'Cause guess it doesn't matter anymore. Do you remember, baby, last September when you held me tight each and every night? Well, oh baby, how you drove me crazy. Guess it doesn't matter anymore. There's no use in me crying. I've done everything and I'm sick of trying. I've thrown away my nights, wasted all my days over you. Now you go your way, baby, and I'll go mine. Now and forever till the end of time. Find somebody new, baby, and we'll say we're through. You won't matter anymore. And you won't matter anymore. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Been a while.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be together again, right?
Yep. Soon. Very, very soon. Okay, Ronnie Cunningham is on deck and Ian Max is up next.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good. Hi, everybody. There's so many people I haven't seen and don't know, but some that I do, and those that aren't here that were here last. You know what? This whole thing has stopped me in my tracks. I'm so grateful. for those that don't know me, I do massage therapy. So my world has come to a complete halt in that sense. So I'm very grateful to have the chance to touch people differently, hopefully. So I want to talk about pieces of ourselves and how they come together through our hearts. And I'm going to do that after I have you all take 3 breaths. And the way I want you to do that is very similar to what's already been said, but there's a focus on the breath. But when you inhale, I want you to feel it go into your heart, down through the ground, circling back up through the heart, and up to the universe, and then back. That's our figure 8. That's our infinity sign. That's our connection, and then where it crosses, just like the masculine and feminine and the yin and the yang, as it crosses through us as we breathe. I'm going to give you, use a 5 count. So you're going to inhale for 5, and then you're going to hold for 5, and then you're going to exhale for 5. But when you hold, I want you to continue with the intaking, even though you're not physically doing it, if that makes sense. Just feel the rise, the breath, the in-breath gives your body, and ride that as you hold for 5 seconds, and then the exhale, and go with that, and flow down into the earth with it. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do that in my character of Miss Max, because I did that with you all a couple years back, and I wasn't able to do it because my massage schedule would not allow me to get free on those nights. So this is double exciting for me. So let's just take a second. All right. Sitting in your seats, put your feet flat on the floor and let your back be straight. And let yourself fill your body with your breath. Inhale now. 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. And again, inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhaling. Begin to feel that flow as it comes through your heart on the way through, in both directions. And last breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me, this whole thing has been a reset. I think reset is appropriate for the species. I think reset is appropriate for ourselves. 6 months ago, I wanted to figure out a way, or wished for, which why you should be careful what you wish for. Time to stop. So I could get all the things done that I wanted to get done, that I couldn't get done. To go through things in my house, see people I couldn't see, lay in the bed and read a book. And now I am doing all of those things. And all of those things coming together make me think of all of the parts of myself as they come together and make me feel my heart and my soul sending directions through it into me. So my body becomes a live wire that allows me to feel what I am, who I am, and what I am not, and who I am not. Now, all that happens all the time anyway, but this stop has allowed it to become a focus of attention. And my focus of attention is something that I can choose. And I can choose the downside, which there's plenty of, or I can choose the upside. The sweet part is that it cycles. We have the down and the up, just like our breath is the in and the out. Our breath is our life force, and feeling mine through my heart, feeling the missing of sharing and being all of myself in the world is now starting to have a place here that I want to share with everyone else. So I say, good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ted Phelps is on deck. Ronnie Cunningham is next.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, when we heard about heart, I was going to do something completely different from what I'm doing tonight. I had turned to my 2-volume Oxford English Dictionary, which, as you may remember, has 4 pages of the original 16-volume set on each page. And I found that even with the magnifying glass, I could no longer read them. So I turned to my trusty pocket Oxford, and this is what I've come up with.
We lost you, Ronnie. Ronnie, we lost you. You muted.
Okay, are we back? Lay to heart, think over seriously. Have a heart, be deeply interested, have at heart, be deeply interested in. The original idea was to find quotes that went back in history, Shakespeare and Thackeray and all sorts. But that didn't happen. Lose one's heart, to fall in love with, take to heart, be much affected by, break someone's heart, to crash with grief, heart in one's mouth, alarmed or startled. His heart is in the right place. He means well. Wear one's heart on one's sleeve, to lack reserve. Learn by heart, in or from memory. The heart of the matter is the vital part. Heart of oak, courageous and strong. And my favorite, rarely used, to hearten, to cheer up. And of course, heartening. And I have heartfelt thanks to Deb for allowing all this to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie, and your big heart. Janice Bowersox is on deck, and Ted Phelps is up. Hi, Ted.
Hello. This is a poem that I gave at IWOW probably 4 years ago. This is what it looks like. And it is called Get Away, a feeling many have right now. It's a story in the form of a poem. There comes the day in every office worker's decades-long career, she gets infected with the thought of travel, of taking a vacation, paid or not, in debt or not, friend or mate, to get away, to be out there and not here for long enough to let her hear drain out of her like toxins on a fast. Maybe the thought comes as she passes the same old travel shop 2 blocks from the building where she works, passes a drainy February shushing afternoon after a late lunch, alone on the little alley, in no rush since the boss is out of town, stops to look at the poster taped to the window, a model lying by the sea, breasts and chin turned to the sun, a man running toward her under a feast of clouds. Slush from a passing car tells her to move along, get back to the office inbox choked with paper. She goes, then slows, stops, turns back to the shop, pushes the bell jingling door. Inside, aromas of coffee and the must of obligation. There, a woman shifting stacks of paper pinches out a, "Can I help you? Do you have a brochure for that place there in the window?" "No, but it's nice, right? He leaves that up all year, likes the girl. Look on the table by the door. Brochure for the same idea. He's got a special on through May. Give me your number. He will call you after lunch." 3 weeks later, on the beach, breasts and chin turned to the sun, thinking of the way she told the boss, of his downward fist that spilled his coffee, of her husband who would not leave the springtime sails coming up like dandelions, and of the train to the plane and the taxis, the first-time hotel and the missing towels and the bowing man who brought them later, of the bacon in the breakfast cold against the scrambled eggs on the pale blue English china plate, leaching all of that like salted water from the body to the sand hot beneath her, melting with the ices in her tilting margarita. The swell of seagulls and the shushing waves, gulls and waves woven with the calls of children running to and in and out the water. Her long high tide, her long high tide finally going out and outward washes all the words, even words that would have told her that a boy will walk by soon to fill her drink.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you. Colin Harrington is on deck and Janice Bowersox is up next.
Hi, and Susan Savoy is helping me with this, so she'll also unmute. So this is audience participation, and if we all unmuted, it would be mutiny, so we're not going to do that. But if you would open your chat window, you're going to type in when you can guess the word or words or expressions that I'm describing. It could be a book or a movie even. And everything that I'm describing will contain the word love. Okay, I hope you have your chat windows open. This is when you're missing someone so much that you are unable to act normally. The heartbreak of a Susan, are you there?
Oh!
Yay.
I see many people got it. Almost everybody did, okay? Julie Balter was first.
Yay, Julie. Okay.
Lovesick was the answer.
Lovesick, thank you. 2016 memoir by Elizabeth Gilbert. Film version, Julia Roberts.
Balter, Julie Balter, she's really fast. Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay, this is like a couch, only smaller, made for 2 people.
All right, you got it, everybody. You all got it.
Yay.
And Julie, you didn't spell it right, so I'm giving it to Justin Green.
A small fly that is mostly black and lives in the southeast part of the US, or a term of endearment.
Love bug, Bubsy. Bubsy, love bug.
Okay. Let's get together and feel all right. Bob Marley wrote this song. Oh.
Julie Walter. One love.
Okay.
One love.
All right. You might wear these on your hands to protect against germs. There's separate parts for
Justin Green said gloves.
Okay, 1967 British drama film that deals with social and racial issues in an inner city school.
The Sir with Love goes to Julie Balter. You didn't type it in.
Okay, a garment, especially a sweater, put on over the head and covering the top half of your body. It's got the word love in it. No one? All right. Pull over.
Pull over.
Okay, a dried flower bud of a tropical tree used as a pungent aromatic spice. Also a type of cigarette. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, all my favorite people already got it. Justin, Bubsy, and Julie, and Jillian. Clove.
Clove, yeah. A short-billed gregarious wading bird. See it running around at the beach. There you go.
Okay, Toma. Plover. I don't even know how to say that.
Plover, yeah. The transfer of the holdings from one retirement plan to another without creating a taxable event.
Eileen, thank you, Eileen. That's a rollover.
And last, I'll skip to my last one, intercourse or copulation.
Of course, I'm going to give that one to, let's see. Wait a second. Oh, Toma.
Making love. Thanks, everybody.
Making love.
Thank you, Janice and Susan. That was great. Okay. Oh, we're hitting the end here. Julie Coulter is going to be our last person, and Colin is up next.
Thank you. I'm going to share a poem with you tonight from a book called, it's an anthology that I published in 30 years ago. I've been kicking around and dusting my books off, and I found this. It's published in Pikeville, Kentucky by Quentin R. Howard. Maybe some of you know this book, but I was just so overjoyed to discover this poem because I think it fits the theme, because I think it's all about gaining heart or keeping heart. And the title of the poem is Whitetail Omen. Caught in the light of high beams, immaculate whitetails, 2 a.m., and this head of searching stops, carries with it omen from omen what matter will not follow next, balding awakeness, clipping tips of ancient fuel under the snow, wonder having been lost within a long time in the face of mirrors. No meaning seems such a lie now. There are tracks left in the snow. A palpable presence and selected vanishings, final steps in foreknowing. Humbled sinew, gliding gracefully, peacefully back to survival. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you. Dusting our books off. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, Julie B. I think you're going to do some screen sharing, right?
All right. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Okay. So I'm so happy to be here. This is so wonderful to be with all you guys. All right. So I'm a little nervous because I'm doing something a little different tonight. So I'm going to first start with a mini poem that I wrote and share my screen. Desktop. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, present. All right, here we go. Okay, so start with a little poem that I wrote. Okay, this is called Heart by Heart. Hang on just a second. I just lost it again. Hold on, sorry guys. Come on, where'd you go? Okay, here we go. Okay, Heart by Heart. Heart deconstructed is hater, the tar of life neglected, a continuous tear, the rate of contagions. Heart is the art of saving her, the Mother Earth. All right, there you go. All right, and now I'm just gonna read a little bit from the Doctor of All Love poems, and it also includes my photos, and almost all of them are from the Berkshires. So, all right. Hang on a second, why isn't this going? Where's my poem? There we go. Okay. Tonight is a night of union for the stars and of scattering, since the bride is coming from the skies consisting of a full moon. Venus cannot contain herself for charming melodies like the nightingale, which becomes intoxicated with the rose in springtime. I can't see, hang on a second. Behold what dust Pisces is striving from the deep. Jupiter has galloped his steed against ancient Saturn, saying, "Take back your youth and go, bring good tidings." Mars's hand, which was full of blood from the handle of his sword, has become as life-giving as the sun, the exalted in works. Since Aquarius has come full of that water of life, the day cluster of Virgo is raining pearls from him. The Pleiad is full of goodness, fears not Libra and being broken. How should Aries flee away in fright from its mother? When from the moon the arrow of a glance struck the heart of Sagittarius, he took to night-faring in passion for her, like Scorpio. On such a festival, go, sacrifice Taurus, else you are crooked of gait in the mud like Cancer. The sky is like an astrolabe, and the reality is love. Whatever we say of this, attend to the meaning. Shams Tabriz, on that dawn when you shine the dark night and transform to bright day by your moon-like face. And there you have it.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Yay. That's it. Yay. Thank you, everybody. Do you want to unmute? Oh, no, I guess I have to unmute you. Wait a second. Unmute all. Okay. You're unmuted.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Deb.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Deb. You rock.
I'm wearing my heart.
Deb. Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thanks,
Deb.
Deb.
Good to see
Thank
you.
Thanks, Deb.
Bye.
If I leave.
Thanks, everybody.
You
This
too.
was fun.
Beautiful, everyone. Really great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Long time no see.
Really great.
It was
Thank you,
lovely.
Deb.
Love you
Bye.
all.
Love you,
Bye.
everybody. Mwah.
Happy spring.
Happy spring. Love you.
Spring.
See you
Stay
soon.
hard, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Cinco our health. L'chaim.
Bye, everyone.
What shows?
Whoever said that, I love
Post.
you.
Yeah.
Don't know we need to be friends immediately.
These people ain't bad, honey.
So glad you're all well.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Survival, social survival thing.
See you on the hill, Deb.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Right.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
And then Thomas said, thank you,
Eric.
everybody.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody.
And then there were 8.
We're getting.
Yeah, that's right.
6.
There were 4. Yeah.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Hi,
Eyes overhead.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, Deb. Thank you so much.
Now let's talk about it and just gossip about everyone. Like, did you see what she was wearing? Oh my god. Can't believe she's just staying home in that dress. Oh my.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you so much.
So glad to see you.
It was so great to just see like the 40 pictures. I had 40 pictures all on one screen. And I videotaped just all the little people moving in and out and eating and scratching their head and whatever. It was so funny.
It
was really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Well, thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you,
We'll
Deb.
see your house too. That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Deb.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, Deb. Thanks.
Inwards, outwards.